We have been standing in this hallway for a week. And we're only halfway done with the level.
Energy readings show her fusion reactors are still
Anyway,
powered
welcome
up.
back to Two Betrayals.
The systems in the Pillar of Autumn have failsafes even I can't override without
Once
authorization
again,
from the captain
bit of a slow week.
or his neural impulse.
As slow as it
Start
can
the
be.
fusion core detonation.
I did finally get to try out the Switch 2
Final pulse generator we need to
after
destroy is through there.
a few months. It's a system. I'm not exactly chomping at the bit to actually buy it. But, you know, one day probably in the far future. I played a little bit of Donkey Kong Bonanza. I think what stands out to me about that is just the sort of level of destructibility you can inflict on the environment. Like, I spent probably about, like, maybe an hour just punching out the whole fucking ground in the tutorial level. Because here's the thing. They hide a whole bunch of stuff in the ground. So, really sort of incentivized to just tear the entire level apart. Yeah, so far it's a pretty fun game. It was made by the Odyssey team, so it's kind of to be expected. Of course, it doesn't mean I've exactly changed my tune on Nintendo's practices concerning pricing, obviously. But, you know, Bonanza's pretty fun. Bop, bop. As for other stuff I've been up to, I recently finished Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater for the first time in a few years. And I did it by not killing a single person. Which, I imagine some Metal Gear fans will probably think, oh, that's nothing. But, you know, to me, that's a big thing. Because I haven't done that before. I don't really go for those sort of challenge runs or whatnot. I wasn't even really going in thinking, oh, I'm gonna go through without killing a single person. It just kind of happened, so I said, oh, if I'm doing this already, then I might as well continue. I beat all the bosses too, by just using the trank gun and CQC. I had more trouble with the fucking Fury than I expected. It kind of annoyed the shit out of me because I really like the Fury as a boss, but like I just don't understand why I was having so much trouble with it. So here we're getting to that. Going all the way back here. I don't like Two Betrayals. Okay, so when I say I don't like Two Betrayals, I mean it's a case of the Rocket Flood are such pains in the ass, and they're everywhere littered throughout the back half of the level. Like, there's even Rocket Flood in this tunnel. Like, right there. And there. I really shouldn't be going back for revenge. But I do. Oh, there I go. Yeah, I'm just grabbing a ghost. So now we gotta go through all this again. I can't even fit a ghost in there. And there's no flood in the corners. Really I think the main problem with just dealing with all of the two betrayals is just the checkpoint system, which it's not like broken or anything. It's just how the checkpoint system in Halo works is that you have to be a certain distance away from enemies in order for them to not spawn in. I should say, you have to be a certain distance away from enemies in order for them to not, in order for the, why am I fucking failing? In order for for you to get a checkpoint. That's it. I don't know why it was that difficult to say it, but it's whatever at this point. But yeah, all we have left is just one more of the beams, then that's really it. Which I say that, but getting there is the problem. Which, outside of complaining about Rocket Flood, I've gone back to a little game called 13. It was a first-person shooter released by Ubisoft back in, I think, 03. It has David Duchovny from the X-Files and Adam West in there as well. It's based off a Belgian comic, actually. And I have it on PC, but I also have it on GameCube. I've ran into this weird problem where audio in cutscenes just straight up will not play, and I've been trying to figure out a way to get that fixed. And I just haven't been able to get it fixed, and it's kind of really annoying that there's all this dialogue that's being said, and I'm just missing out on it because it's an old PC game, and running it on modern systems tends to bork things. And I've even looked up ways to fix it. I've messed with the INI file. I downloaded the mod that helps fix a lot of stuff with running it on modern systems, but even then, the game just refuses to cooperate with me. And my life flashed before my eyes once again. But, you know, but other than that, I have been enjoying myself playing the game. Let's see what else. Well, I'm gonna start up Death Stranding soon. I got that installed today. So probably by the time this goes live, I'll be in the midst of playing that. I don't remember if I mentioned it, but you know, in the event I didn't, or probably just end up repeating myself, but I'm fairly blind on a lot of the stuff in Death Stranding. Like, I don't really know a whole lot of the plot. I'm aware of the theming of the game, but in terms of like everything else, I know jack shit about it. and I know it's a walking sim. It's essentially just a mailman simulator, but other than that, I'm fairly blind, so I'm looking forward to actually experiencing that firsthand. Because, you know, if there's a massive difference between watching someone play a game and then playing that game yourself. Like, right here, this is my least favorite part of Two Betrayals. You have a massive army of Flood coming in, and then you have a massive army of Covenant at the far end, with Shade Turrets, 2 Wraiths, Elites, Jackals, and if you kill off enough of them, you've got Hunters coming out. So, how I like to tackle this is I try to take out as much of the Covenant as I can to make a break for the Banshees, and then just floor it. Try to get out of there as quickly as possible. And I try not to get the Hunters to spawn in. If I get the Hunters to spawn in, I'm fucked. That's the long and short of it. Now, there's a very clear difference between, you know, watching me play this, and then you yourself playing the game. Because that's really what sets video games apart from other entertainment mediums, is it's in that player experience, I think. Which is why I think that people should... And, you know, I know it's very difficult nowadays, considering wages and just the general nature of the economy and the world that we live in, to get into and buy and play a lot of newer or older titles, but, you know, you should still play them. You know, why deprive yourself of that experience by simply watching a video? Now, I know that without people watching videos, that the whole entire online space simply wouldn't exist. You know, you're sort of depriving yourself of that experience. Like, you could watch a playthrough of Final Fantasy VII, but, you know, you could still play Final Fantasy VII and experience the story on your own, instead of through someone else's experience of playing the game. Like, you know, there's lots of games that I know about but have never gotten a chance to play, but, you know, I still track them down, I buy them, and then I play them, and I experience them myself. And that's really, I think it's really the long and short of it, because, like, yeah, I was kind of shitting my pants here, I'm gonna be honest. Oh god, I'm gonna die. I got no health. I'm gonna die. But yeah, as I said before, just take out as much of the Covenant as you can, and just book it. Just don't stop for anything. Just go. But no, basically the long and short of it is just, please, play video games. Please do. I guess that's what I'm trying to say, you know. You kind of do have to play them yourselves to, I think, form a better opinion of the game. You know, you can form an opinion just off of just seeing it, but, you know, I think there is a difference between playing the game and experiencing that on your own. Alright, what do we got here? If I remember right, so there's just a bunch of sentinels and flood. Yep, there they are. Maybe it's just sentinels. Actually, no, they'd be fucking... They were firing before, so yeah. Get us the hell out of here.
Final target neutralized. Let's get out of here.
I agree.
Let's find a ride and get to the captain.
No, that'll take too long.
You have a better idea?
There's a teleportation grid that runs throughout Halo. That's how the monitor moves about so quickly. I learned how to tap into the grid when I was in the control center. Unfortunately, each jump requires a rather consequential expenditure of energy.
Something tells me I'm not gonna like this.
But I'm pretty sure I can pull it from your suit without permanently damaging your shields. Needless to say, I think we should only try this once.
Do it.
Well, on that note, I'll see you guys next week for Keys.